David and Cameron here, end of second week in DC.
Yes.
Our second week of Apex, first week in DC.
Right.
You smell good.
Smell good?
It's the first time all week, but... This week, the group that was here, they were fun to be around, and there's a lot of laughter and there was a lot of activity. Really appreciated how the groups meshed this week, and just the fun and activity and encouragement. This was a great week. We had some experiences that came up this week that we did not plan on, that no one could ever plan for. Well, Monday it started out. We got to our work site, and there just wasn't enough work for everybody to do.
No, we finished the stuff we wanted to do in a matter of like 20 minutes, and we had about 3 hours we planned on being there.
Yeah, we work with a place called The Center, and they hire high school kids from the city for the summer. And leaving that day, we thought, you know what, we have the chance to pivot from a project to people. We said, let's do whatever we can to build some friendships with them. So then on Tuesday,
we went to the park, and it was a good time. We had people the night before, we really just encouraged our group to just go ahead and just be forward, go first, and just get rid of the awkwardness, but just going in for it, you know. And they took the challenge pretty well. They talked to everybody, you know. Some people were more receptive than others, but either way, our kids really took it upon themselves and really did invest into a relationship with them on that day in the park. So
on Wednesday, I, for a number of reasons, could not go to the work project that day and had to go to see a doctor. And so Cameron got to take charge of the group that day, and I think we're lovingly referring to it as Wacky Wednesday. So the team's left for the day, and I'm not with them. I've got a little bit of a medical issue that I think I need to take care of. I'm not liking the looks of this. That may have been the worst experience of my entire life. Feeling better though.
Wacky Wednesday is a nice way of putting it. The plan for the day was to go to the Postage Museum and just let the kids, again, interact with each other a lot.
Yeah, so what we were trying to do was take the students who were at the center, who were on staff there, and get them off-site so we could build relationships. So on Tuesday we went to a park, and so on Wednesday we said, hey, let's go to a museum and continue to have conversations, and hopefully, you know, with the stuff that we've been giving our students with Apex, they would have great conversations.
We got there, there was a little bit of a situation. It was just a chaotic scene, just to say the least. One of the students with the group we were going with had brought a gun and had tried to ditch said gun before we got into the museum. So I have like 20 plus students with me at this point, and there's police rushing into the building, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And so we got the kids out, they let them go around Union Station and figure out what they were doing while I tried to correspond with the police officers and figure out what we could do for the kid. But it was just a sad situation, really sad situation.
We're pretty confident that he meant no harm to our group.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I mean, that's why I say it's so sad, because you kind of came to the realization that, like, for us, it's safe to assume from the interactions that we had with this kid that the only reason why he would have that gun was to protect himself in some kind of way. That there was no malicious intent. He was a nice kid. He had plans and things that he wanted to do with his life, and unfortunately, the mistake that he made is going to cost him dearly.
Feel bad for him. Our students felt bad for him. It was definitely a learning experience for
everybody involved, really.
Yeah.
Everybody involved. That was a moment for us to really show the kids how different their world is from small town Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, it was his poor circumstance for him, but a perfect learning tool for our kids to be able to see that this is just that life is different for different people. And sad for what happened to him, but it worked out for us to be able to teach a lesson that probably wouldn't have been able to stick so well, you know?
Right.
Without it being firsthand and for people able to witness it.
We debriefed with the group a little bit, and that was really, I think, a pivotal moment for the group this week to really kind of get their heads around, like, oh, we're not out in the country of Pennsylvania anymore. We're here in D.C. And the groups handled it really well. The youth pastors handled it really well. And then we, after dinner, we headed to ice cream.
Yeah, we had snow cream.
Snow cream.
Real fancy, bougie ice cream that David likes a lot. We made a new friend. Our kids were out there playing on the playground-ish, like the little, what do they call, carousel
Outside
things.
the Kmart, all those like
Kmart,
quarter-operated
and
playground things.
And a small, skinny man comes charging at our kids.
Charging full blast.
Full anger.
Full anger, top of his lungs.
Yes.
Screaming every word of profanity you could imagine.
So, of course, we come charging on down. What's going on?
You were actually a little slower. It ends up this gentleman, Randy, is homeless, living here in Annandale. What we end up finding out is that watching a bunch of kids having a lot of fun reminded him of his life and how it used to be, and it really upset him. And so he, ends up breaking down in tears and apologizing. And it was a really sweet moment where our students were able to come back around this gentleman outside the store, and and just pray for him. He pulls out his harmonica and starts
playing
songs for us.
That
and
was nice. And bought him a radio.
Yeah, so we've been teaching this high five tool on how to really bless some people around us, and one of those is to share a treasure. And so
students got together and put some money together and walked to the store and got him a radio. He been talking about getting a radio beforehand. That was something that he felt, which is really sad. He said he felt like he was sleeping, like he was so lonely, and he wanted to play it so he could go to sleep and not feel so lonely. So that was an incredible moment to see those students really do that.
Randy probably doesn't have very many people in his life that would even shake his hand, let alone give him a hug. And students were just lined up, hugging him and loving him. And it was a significant moment, and one that I'll never forget. The students will never forget. And Cameron and I are standing off to the side, kind of watching this whole thing unfold. Yeah. And what did you say to me?
The wackiest Wednesday of my life. No other way to put it.
So here we are at the Capitol. Wacky Wednesday is over. That's good. It's Thursday. And we're at the Capitol on a tour with the groups here from Pennsylvania. It should be a fun time. Yep. Long day of walking in D.C.
God just brought a lot of different scenarios and circumstances into our week that we had no idea we were going to encounter. But that's the point, right? It's like to be flexible and to be available to the ministry that God puts in our pathway. That Apex isn't about a project. The gospel is not actually about a project. The gospel is for people. And so as we finished out the week, got to see our students interacting with some homeless folks in the park. Learning from our friends at the International Justice Mission, doing a food empathy challenge at the food bank. Just seemed like there was a lot of variety of opportunities for students this week to really dive in and see life from other people's perspective, that I think they go home with a newfound appreciation for where God has placed them, but also they go home to be influenced for Christ.
And the Kansas City Challenge.